emergency response protocols along the White Volta Basin following confirmation that the spillage of the Bagre Dam is expected to commence within days. Data from dam authorities confirms that water levels in Burkina Faso have continued to rise steadily toward critical capacity. Northeast Regional Minister Ibrahim Tia said the military and NADMO authorities are in place to evacuate affected residents to safer grounds.
Certainly, we have done enough preparations on the ground to sensitize all people who are living around the White Volta, and we got enough time because the Burkina Bay authorities were looking at a level that the water will reach before they will now spill. Unfortunately, for almost 2 weeks now, the water hasn't reached that level, but they are now getting very close.
Now, 2 individuals have petitioned several state institutions, including the OSP and Attorney General, to conduct independent investigations into allegations of attempted extortion, corruption, and abuse of public office involving the Minority Leader of Parliament, Alexander Afenyo-Markin. Now, this petition was filed by Solomon Owusu and Andrew Appiah Dankwa, both from the United Party, and follows public allegations of extortion by the CEO of the Ghana Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, against the Minority Leader. First, let's hear from the CEO of Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, who first made the allegations on an Accra-based TV station.
There are many underlying issues between I and Afenyo-Markin that you don't know and those watching don't know. Perhaps in this country, I have held more press conferences on political issues than anybody. Have you ever heard me use the word extortion against any of my critics? Have you ever heard me? Why will I use this word now? And why have you not heard Afenyo say anything about that, or challenge me, or threaten to sue?
We can now listen to Solomon Owusu, the Director of Communications for the United Party, speaking on TV3 about why they petitioned.
We want the truth to be laid bare, and that is why we have petitioned the Inspector General of Police, the CID boss, we have petitioned Parliament, we have petitioned the Attorney General, we have petitioned SHAG together with the Office of the Special Prosecution, so that they go into the matter. I'm sure Sammy Gyamfi would have evidence to suggest that indeed Afenyo made or actually engaged in acts that constitute extortion.
Meanwhile, the Minority Caucus in Parliament says Gold Board CEO Sammy Gyamfi must appear before a parliamentary inquiry to answer for the gold trade losses. Let's still stay on the mining sector. And the convener of the Media Coalition against Galamsey, Engineer Ken Ashigbey, has accused some municipal assemblies of charging fees from illegal small-scale miners, that is Galamseyers. Ken Ashigbey said municipal chief executives are also engaged in the illegality because the laws frown on persons who facilitate the illegal mining. Speaking on key points on 3FM, over the weekend, he wondered why there has not been any action against the MCEs who are engaged in this practice.
These are people who have committed crimes. Because if you look at the act, it says if you facilitate it. How is it that the MP for Oda mentions the DC for Oda as charging 14,000, 10,000 and all of that for people who are involved in illegality? The question you should be asking, those people who are mining, did they have the EPA permits? And this MC goes to collect this money, and his argument is that they were given receipts.
Away from that, the filing of completed nomination forms for various positions in the opposition MPP national elections has commenced after 50 individuals picked forms to contest. As of the close of day on Saturday, 5 aspirants, including former national chairman Paul Afoko, had picked forms for the national chairman position this morning.
A total of 50 nominees have picked forms to contest 11 positions in the upcoming national executive elections of the opposition New Patriotic Party. As of the close of day on Saturday, the last day of the purchase of forms, 5 aspirants, Paul Afoko, John Buadu, Boachie Jakun, Sammy Crab, and Bernard Entwibuesiakun had picked forms for the national chairman position. The incumbent national chairman, Stephen Ayesu Intim, is not seeking re-election. For the General Secretary position, Eugene Boachie, Sylvester Tete, and Charles Dramina had picked forms to contest the incumbent Justin Kodua Frimpong who is seeking a second term. Media personality Gordon Asaribediakun, who had initiated moves to contest the National Communications Director position, has dropped from the race and endorsed Dennis Miracles Abuaje for the position. Dennis Miracles Abuaje is now in the race with Evans Kodo. The filing of completed nomination forms commenced on Sunday, August 23, and will close on Saturday, August 29.
Before we go, former Works and Housing Minister Kojo Opong Nkrumah says the Mahama administration's continued use of private sector participation in the Saglemi housing project vindicates the PPP model introduced under the previous government. His comments follow President Mahama's inspection of the project, with developers targeting 700 completed homes by March 2027.
So I think, first of all, this is testament to the fact that the PSP model works. And we need to mainstream it instead of always trying to wait for taxpayers' money or sovereign debt before we do these projects. There are still a lot of projects that we actually even tried to resolve, but time wasn't on our side. If you go to Koforidua, there are some of President Kufuor's housing projects that are still there. Even in Ashanti region, there are some that are still there. It is important for this private sector approach to continue.
And finally, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Pandit Isiama, says the emergence of the 24-hour economy presents a unique opportunity for Ghana to roll everyone on board. And according to him, the success will increasingly depend on human capital, creativity, digital skills, and entrepreneurial mindset. He was speaking at the 33rd Graduate Students Association of Ghana, GRASAG Summit, held in Accra. Ghana's 24-hour economy is a national strategic policy that aims to transform Ghana from an import-dependent nation into a round-the-clock production and export hub, targeting over 1.7 to 2 million new jobs through maximized asset utilization and multi-shift operations. This subject featured prominently at the summit, which brought together academic professors, entrepreneurs, and graduate students. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, whose speech was read on his behalf by Bernard Atto Otabil, the Director of Communications, called for strategic shift in thinking to one of innovation and skills acquisition.
As we move towards a more dynamic and competitive economy, the question is no longer whether we have knowledge, but rather whether we can turn that knowledge into innovation, productive enterprises, and sustainable economic growth.
That's all the time we have on Morning News on 3FM 92.7. For more stories, head on to our website at 3news.com. My name is Noura Mohammed. Up next is Business News. Stay tuned.